Today, we're talking about the top 5 mistakes to avoid when selling music online. Stay tuned. So I'm really excited about my new cable management, my new chair back here. I even have a stool back here that allows me to sit in different positions so that I don't ache in my back. But most importantly, I have a really cool device that I just put in, and it is this right here. It is a standing desk raiser. So my desk, as you can see, is about waist height. So that can be very fatiguing if I'm in a chair that is too low, that can hurt my back. Or if I'm standing and trying to work, as you can see, this is terrible posture with my hand here. That's having me reach really, really low. So what I got is this right here, and I'll link to it below in the comments that you can check out the link. This is on Amazon, and you'll notice how this stand steady desk is 2 inches high. And what it allows me to do is put my keyboard, my MIDI controller, my mouse with the wrist cushion over here. And then when I'm using my phone, I can put it right here in this empty space. It gives me this really large surface area. And then check this out, it's really cool. I can come down here to this lever, and when I pull it up, there's hydraulics built into the bottom of this, and it'll actually raise it up as high as I need to. Aha, so it kicks in, and boom, check that out. So now I have all of this surface area to work with. It's exactly at my elbow height here. And now I can work very comfortably now that I have my 3 monitors set up. I have my mouse over here, and then I can primarily focus on the top window here, especially when I'm working in a DAW, and then down below I have my pedal for my keyboard. So I've been using this setup now for a week, and it has been such a game changer in my productivity, and it has allowed me to function in a way that I never really thought was possible, because for my entire past up to this point, I've been sitting in a chair. And I've heard so many benefits of increased stamina and endurance and productivity and creativity from those who use standing desks. So this is a really cool thing that I can switch at ease between the two without having to invest in a standing desk or the kind of desk that rises and falls throughout the day without the motors and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of an inexpensive way to live the best of both worlds and to jump between my stool, my drafting stool, which allows me to sit really high and to still be in this position if I don't want to move this desk here. But what a cool solution. So if this is interesting for you, check out in the comments below. The very first pinned comment is going to have links to each of those Amazon items if you want to take your studio to the next level and erase any kind of back pain or fatigue that you might get throughout the day. So I think it could be a big game changer for you too. Hey guys, I'm Stephen Malin, music composer and educator, helping you to build a music business that matters. Today on 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before Becoming a Music Composer, we are talking about the top 5 mistakes to avoid when selling your music tracks online. Number 1, bad track titles. I'm not sure why, but artists have this crazy tendency to make up awful track titles. And what I find is we tend to try to encapsulate what the track feels like or what it represents, or maybe there's some symbolism from our lives or whatever. But the problem is, as a consumer, someone trying to buy your track to use in their project, in their library, they need a very straightforward title. So the best way to go about this is to use SEO, search engine optimization, to your advantage. So when you go to these music marketplaces, when you go to Google, open up an incognito tab and start typing in there some common words to see what people are actually searching for. chances are if you are writing an inspirational corporate piano track, you should literally call it Inspirational Piano Corporate. If you're writing an epic trailer stinger, you should call it Epic Trailer Stinger. I know that we really want to come up with these creative and cool titles for our albums and that kind of thing, but if you're trying to sell your music, you need to speak directly to the vernacular and the vocabulary that your audience is going to be using when they're talking with their friends. They're gonna say, hey man, there's this really cool epic opener that I used on my promo. Here's a link to it. You need to create titles that are both interesting but also very straightforward. Number 2, no audience in mind. Another huge mistake that musicians make is they do not create music for a specific purpose. Now, I completely understand that there is a time and a place to create music as a hobby. Perhaps you have a day job and you don't have any ambition to change that, and maybe late at night or on the weekends, you're just kind of creating tunes and there's not really a purpose to it, it's just kind of your outlet. Fine. If that's you, then this doesn't really speak to you. But for everyone else that's really trying to make a living off of selling your music online, you need to create your music for a very specific purpose. One of the best ways to do this is to search through music marketplaces, look for specific types of music that you want to write. It could be epic fantasy music, it could be trailer music, it could be corporate music, it could be rock music, anything in between. And you need to find these specific tracks on these marketplaces, and you need to study and analyze why the top selling tracks are the top and best selling tracks. It usually has to do with particular ebbs and flows within the track itself. There's usually a very small amount of energy at the beginning of the track. It ramps up. There's usually some breaks. There are usually some sort of cutting involved where maybe there's a 45-second chunk and then a 5-second split and then another 20 seconds. Start studying what the formula is for your particular genre, and you're gonna start to see which formulas and which patterns arise time and time again, and why they're the most popular, because they are the most usable. They are utilitarian at the core. So we have to channel the art through what is practical for the project that you believe someone will need it for. Number 3, only one version. I see this one all the time. Whenever you are creating a piece of music, you need to be thinking, what will be the final usage of this track? In most cases, if you are someone who puts vocals on your track, there is a very small usage of that track. In fact, for my YouTube videos, for my podcast, for my courses, when I am choosing tracks to use from different libraries, I don't purchase the ones that have vocals at all. I actually look for a vocal track, a pop tune, and then I find the instrumental version. And a lot of times you have to buy one version and you get multiple packed in, or sometimes it's a separately labeled track called instrumental in parentheses. What that does is it's a stem, it's a separate file that has each of the instrument parts so that you can go through as the creator of the project, as a director, and you can actually chop out particular sections of that. That's really, really useful. So sometimes I don't want percussion because it's too much energy. Sometimes I don't want vocals. Sometimes I don't want the melody track. But by splitting these into multiple stems, you can actually deliver a ton of different variations of your product. And in turn, you're actually turning one piece of music into sometimes 5 or 6 or more that become very, very useful. And on the other side, it's also important to try to chop your music into different lengths. There should always be a full version track, usually somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes long. There should be a short version, usually about 45 seconds to 1 minute long. Then there should be some very short stingers, about 15 seconds and 30 seconds are usually the lengths that are used for promos and commercials. So why limit the usage of your track by only submitting one version? Always go through this process. Takes a few extra minutes, but whatever your DAW is of choice, go through and slice up your music in the original file into multiple types to really maximize the usage of your music. Number 4, wrong marketplace. So often artists spend so much time and energy on the music, but then they don't spend any time and energy researching where to put the music to get the right eyeballs and the right ears. So do yourself a favor and research the different music marketplaces and libraries available, and research what type of demographics of people are actually using these platforms. Research if your style of music that you are best at creating is going to benefit best in A or B, C or D. And go through this process, and usually after about an hour or two of researching all the different platforms, you're gonna come to the conclusion of, wow, this is the type of music for me, this is the marketplace for me. And the easiest way to do that is on any of these music marketplaces, go to the best-selling tracks. Look through about 15 or 20 tracks and analyze what makes them all the same and what really makes them stand out. Chances are one marketplace is going to be really heavy on the corporate pop type of music. Another marketplace is going to be really heavy on the film and soundtrack music. Another one might be really heavy towards video game music. So it's really important to find which marketplace really speaks to the type of music that you write so that you're not wasting your time. And my best suggestion is to always pick one and to master it by uploading a lot of music and learning the platform, learning how to create a profile that really kills in that marketplace and does an amazing job. And then, only then, should you start branching out into other marketplaces. And so I highly recommend that when you pick the one marketplace, you go exclusive. You don't go non-exclusive, because that means that you have to share with other websites and it kind of takes away the quality. Honestly, any of the music marketplaces that are worth their salt and they actually charge great prices and earn you good money, they are all about exclusivity because it's a premium product for their users. Websites like Premium Beat or Epidemic Sound are fantastic places if you can get in through their application process, because they are exclusive and you're going to get a very high rate working for them. Even if you can't get into those libraries, other sites like Audio Jungle and Pond5 are excellent places to start to really master your space and to get a lot of customers, a lot of clients through that, and that way you can build from there. Number 5, inconsistent uploads. This one hurts the most because most artists have enough business savvy and experience over the course of several years to figure out the first 4 mistakes and to correct them and kind of get better. But this 5th one, this idea of inconsistent uploads, can hurt anyone's career. And it's so simple to solve, yet so many artists fall into this trap. So a lot of artists focus so much on the quality of their music that they fail to upload quantity. Now, of course, I'm all about creativity and I'm all about taking time to really craft something special. But if you are trying to make a living off of selling your music, and there are a ton of composers making a killing at this, if you go interview them and you talk to them, such as Avery Berman, who I interviewed last year as part of the Sonic Storytellers podcast, and we chatted at length about Audio Jungle in particular and how he has sold millions of tracks on there. And his secret, just like the secret of every successful artist on there, they have uploaded consistently over a long period of time. It's just like YouTube videos. It's just like podcast episodes. It's just like blogging. Anyone who is consistent, putting out at least one piece of content every single week, you will see exponential return on your investment versus those who create bulk and upload in bulk. So this is a change of pace for a lot of us because so many artists think, well, okay, maybe I will just write, and then every 6 months or every 12 months, I will, boom, upload 30 tracks, 40 tracks. But the problem with this is you're not getting the consistent eyeballs, because the cool thing about marketplaces is it usually features your profile every single time that you upload a track. And so what this does is, let's say you get a lot of eyeballs on one track, it's going to bring people to your profile, they'll start following you, very much like social media, and they will actually start to see if you are consistent every week, they're gonna start looking for your tracks. And if they really love one of your tracks and buy it, chances are they're gonna come back every single week and use your content, because the people using your content are usually content creators, people who create YouTube videos and podcasts and all of these types of media that need constant music. So this is a perfect scenario for you that you actually are getting clients that are repeat clients. And then hopefully down the line, they will start hiring you for custom music as well, so you can establish that rapport and that relationship. It is better to be consistent on a weekly basis than to create a large amount of music and to put it all at once. So I highly encourage you, if you are serious about really taking your music to the next level and turning this into a business that is recurring, and to create this passive income revenue that you can make money in your sleep, really focus on this idea of churning out at least one piece of music every week. Selling music online is one of the best ways to earn passive income as a musician. This frees up your time. You only have to make a product once, in this case, a music track, and then people buy it over and over and over again. And if you do a smash job, they will start sharing it with their friends. It will blow up on social media. It'll blow up on YouTube. So the idea here is to create something very intentional. Avoid these 5 mistakes and you are going to see an exponential growth in your online sales. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and hit the little bell icon because then you'll be notified every single time I upload new videos. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before Becoming a Music Composer. See you then. Dang it.